Hey, this is René. Welcome to another video on this channel. And today we will have a look at indicators that do not have buffers, but that draw objects in the chart. So this was requested several times in the last days. So I will make a quick video on this and show how to react to, for example, support and resistance lines. So I use this indicator that I got from the market. So I will show you real quick how you can get it. So if you're in the navigator, you can go to the market section here in the MetaTrader 5 and click on indicators. And then you can click on free. And the very first should be this PR support and resistance for MT5. And I just downloaded this indicator. And if you do so, you can follow this tutorial. So I already attached it to the chart here, and you can see this indicator. It does not show us any information in the data window like indicators usually do, but we see these lines in the chart. And if you put your mouse cursor over one of these lines, you will see the name and the price of these lines. And if you right click in the chart and you open the object list, and you click on list all, you will also see, I think at the very bottom, that there are 6 trend lines and they are created by this indicator. So if we double click one of these, we will see the name of this object, we will see the style pretty much, which is the color and the line style, and we will see the parameters. So here we can see from where the line starts, like in a time period, and where it ends. And we also see the value. And the visualization is not relevant for us here. So these are the information that we need to check where these lines are. And this is what we can do in a expert advisor, of course. Oh, and then we will have a look at this in the strategy tester. But first of all, let's write the expert advisor. So we click on IDE, or we click on Tools, MetaQuotes Language Editor. This will open the MetaQuotes Language Editor for us. We can click on experts and create a new expert advisor. We can say, for example, support and resistance system. It doesn't really matter what name you choose. Then you click on next, and finish, and you will have the blank template pretty much for a expert advisor. Let me just remove the comments real quick because we do not need them. And as always, I like to rearrange my brackets so it fits my programming style or my style of arranging the code. So this is the program. And since we now have this indicator, which creates objects in the chart, there are 2 ways of accessing these objects. So we do not really need the indicator in the program to just realize where these objects are. So what we can do is, or whenever you have this task of getting information from an indicator that doesn't have buffer, you first of all have to figure out what kind of objects are drawn in the chart. And in this case, I can show it to you again. These objects are trend lines. So you can see it here in the object list. So these are trend line objects. There might be arrows drawn by another indicator. So then you can search for arrows. But in this case, we have the trend lines. So what we will do is in the onTick function, we will loop through all the trend lines in this chart pretty much. So this shall be like the first thing we do here. So we can say objects total -1. Let me write this real quick. So what we do here is we have to provide 0 for the chart ID. So what we do here is, and I can show this to you. So objects total always returns the total amount of objects in a chart. So if I attach this expert advisor to the chart, and you can also do so if you compiled your program already in the meta editor, you can find it here, support and resistance system. If I apply to the chart, we will see in the upper left corner, as soon as there is a tick, we have 808 objects in this chart. And these are all the objects in this list pretty much. So if I go ahead and just remove most of these objects like this, then we will see in the upper left corner there are only 6 objects left. And these 6 objects are, of course, our trend lines here from this indicator. So we will have to search for these exact objects. So what we can do here is, and by the way, we could just address these objects directly using the name of the objects, because they are always the same for this specific indicator. But for other indicators, this might not be the case. So for other indicators, it might be necessary to loop through all the objects and search for the objects that you need. So what we can do for the objects total function, we can also provide a sub window which is 0 for the current main chart window, and then we have the object type, and we can say, for example, object trend or trend lines. And what we can do now is we can receive the names of specific objects. So we can say object get or object, what is the function, object name. And then we can say chart ID 0, index I, because we use I as a variable to loop through all the objects. Then we have subwindow 0, and object type, of course, has to be object trend again. So if we print this, if we print the name now, you can see with every tick, we will loop through all the objects here. So if you have a look at your toolbox, which you can open by clicking on View Toolbox and click on Experts here, we will see the print statement that we just print here. And we print the names of our trend lines. So now we already have our trend lines and we could receive data from it. But what happens if we have another trend line like this one, which is not part of our indicator? So you can see now we have 7 objects in the chart, and you can see it in the chart list. So if we list all, we have 7 now, and this trend line that I just created has another name. So the easiest way to see if the trend line or object belongs to your indicator is to search for specific names. So what we can do here is we can see the names are always like RS lines and then S1, 2, 3 or R1, 2, 3. So what we have to search for is RS lines. So we can do this by checking if string find. So we can search for a specific string or letter combination, which is lines, RS lines inside of the object name. And if this is greater than -1, we know that we found the name of a object that belongs to this indicator. So the string find function is built like this. You have this string find, which is just the name of the function. Then you have a string value. So this is like the string you are searching for. And then you have another match substring. Wait. It is the other way around. Like this. So you have a string in which you want to search. For example, this is the name of our object. And then we have a matching substring. So something that shall be inside of the first string. So whenever we have RS lines inside the name of the object, then the string find function will return the index where this substring is found in this string. And if it is greater than -1, we can be pretty sure that this is this belongs to the indicator. And if this is not true, then it does not belong to the indicator. Does not belong to the indicator. So if we compile it like this, we will see these lines belong to the indicator, but the H1 trend line that I just created does not belong to the indicator. So this is like the way to go to see if your object belongs to the indicator. And for 99.9% of the indicators that you will find in a forum or in the market, all the objects that are created have a similar pattern. So they usually have like the name of the indicator before they have some number. So you can always search for some kind of substring to find the objects that belong to your indicator. So since we now found some lines that belong to our indicator, then we can search if, for example, the price hit one of these lines. So therefore, we first of all have to get the price. So we can say price is equal to object get double, and then you can use all the object get functions to receive information from these objects, because we have the chart ID, we have the object name now, which is name, and then we have some objects properties that we can choose from, and yeah, this will give us the price. So we can say, let's print again, name as the price, and then we can just print the price here, and you will see now we also get the price for all these trend lines. And we can now use these prices to, like trade, right? And if you want to check if this is a support or a resistance line, you can always check, for example, some other properties. In this case, for example, the color could be checked. For example, we have red as a color for the support line and green for the resistance line. So we could say something like we could say color. Object get integer 0 name object prop color, and then we can say that this is a color indeed, and then we can check if color is equal to color red. We can say print name is at, and then we have like the price, and then we have and is a support line like this. Right? And we can say else if color is equal color green, we will have a resistance line. So we have is a resistance line like this. If we compile this, we can see that now we even get like we see if it is a support or a resistance line, right? So this is working. So what we can do here is we can say, for example, if we hit a support line we want to buy. So if, and then we have to check if the bid price, this mql5. So we can do something like double bid is equal to symbol info double. Then we receive the bid price here. And then we can say, we create, for example, a global variable, which is the last bid price. And then we can say last bid is equal to bid, like this. And then we can say, if bid is below this line and last bid is greater or above the price, then we want to buy, okay? And on the other hand, if we have this sell signal, we want to sell, of course. So if bid is above a resistance line and it was below the resistance line before, then we want to sell. So let's do this real quick. So we can say include trade mqh to have access to the trade class, and then we can just say, let's just create a global variable for this, So we can say trade by, and then we, wait, I think we have to provide the volume here. Yeah, like this. And then we have sell for the sell signal and like this. So let's check if this is working. Oh, and we should add some mechanism to, yeah, like not trade the line multiple times. So we can, for example, we could say that we want to have a SL and a TP. And we could say something like entry is equal to symbol info double symbol ask. Then we can round this. And then we can say SL is equal to entry minus some SL points. And we can say TP is equal to entry plus TP points multiplied with points, TP, normalize double, like this. If we do it like this, oh yeah, we could provide the lots as a input parameter. Now we have entry, SLTP, and we have to create 3 input parameters here. Input int TP points might be 100 and SL points might also be 100, and then we do the same thing, of course, for the sell signal, where we calculate everything for a cell position opening. So we of course have to add the SL points and subtract the TP points from the entry, and the entry should be at the bit price for a cell position. So if we have everything set up like this, yeah, we could run this program in the normal chart, but this would take some time, so we do it in the tester. So what we do here is we open the strategy tester, click on view strategy tester to do so, and then we click on visualize, and then we can just choose our expert advisor that we want to test, and it is the support and resistance system. And now we can just, yeah, give it a go. So we click on start and we see the chart running, and then we will see one big problem, because in the tester, we do not have the indicator, right? So this is a problem pretty much. So we can fix this by creating a template. So what we can do here is we can say that we have, for example, yeah, we have this chart here which has the indicator attached, and we can say templates, save template, and we can call this tester template. And if you do so, this should be automatically applied for all your test runs. So be sure to name it tester.tpl. The name is really important, and if you have just one letter wrong, it doesn't work. But if you do it like this, you will see, yeah, it will work, and we see that the indicator is available in the tester now. So let's wait until we hit some, some lines here. I think the like 100 TP and SL was way too less. And yeah, we should add one more thing. So we should check before we open a position if we have a open position. So the easiest way to do so is to just say if positions total is equal to 0. So this will not work in live trading, of course, because you might have other positions. But in this case, this is totally fine for us. And we can, for example, increase the distance for TP and SL. So if we go back to our test, and if you go to the inputs and we reset them, we can now run another test with more points for TP and SL, and this should look even better now. So let's have a look at this test, and then we can check the source code one more time. So we can see as soon as we hit like this support level here, we open a buy position, and then yeah, we just wait if we hit the SL or TP. In this case, we hit the SL, and we directly open a new position. We hit the TP and we already get a new position, because in this case it was a sell position because we hit a resistance line, I think. And yeah, it seems to work pretty much. You can do your own testing, and if there are some modifications necessary, oh, here we do not have enough money for more positions. So if you want to modify this code, feel free to do so. I just wanted to teach you the basics of like working with indicators that draw objects. So let's have a look at the code one more time. At the very top, we just include this trade.mqh file, so we are able to use the ctrade class to open positions. Then we have three input variables for the lots, the SL and TP points, and we have a global variable to store the last bid price in this variable. And then we do not have the onInit and onDinit field, but the onTick. First of all, we calculate the bid price, and this is just by using the symbol info double function. We did this several times in previous tutorials. And then we have this first condition where we check if we do not have any open position. So positions total like this function just returns the number of open positions. So this is necessary so we do not open like 10 trades if we hit lines that are close to each other, because that doesn't really make sense, I think. Then we have a loop, and this is something new in this tutorial, where we run through all the objects in a specific chart. So objects total will give you the total amount of objects in a chart, and you can even specify the object type. So if you say you have an indicator and you know that you are searching for trend lines, you can use this object underscore trend identifier to say as a third parameter that you only want to search for trend lines. And then, of course, the rest of the loop is always the same. So we initialize I with the number of total objects in the chart -1, because indexing starts at 0, and then we subtract 1 from I after every loop run, and we do this as long as I is greater or equal to 0. Then we just receive the name of the object that it is at index I in the object list. And there it is important, if you specify a object type, you will have to do so for the object name function again, because otherwise the index will not match like the objects that you are searching for. And then you can search for a specific substring inside of this name of the object here, because it might be the case that there are like 10 indicators in your chart, or you have other objects that you added manually, or they are just there. Then you do not want to calculate with these objects. You only want to find like the objects that belong to your indicator. And in most cases, indicators have like a similar pattern for their names. So you can just figure this out and then search for this specific pattern inside of the name of the object. Yeah, once you did this, you will have to check if you found an arrow or a trend line or whatever your indicator produces. And then you can, for example, receive the price, the color, and any other object property using the object get functions. And there is object get double, object get string, object get integer. And then you can just like build some conditions, check if you, for example, hit a trend line or if there is a new arrow, and then you can like make your trading decisions based on this. So this is like a typical build for any expert advisor that uses objects from a indicator. And yeah, after we have this whole loop here, we then say that last bit shall have the value of bit. So this is a way to make sure that in this last bit variable, there's always the last tick pretty much stored. So you can check in a condition like this if the current bit tick just hit a specific price level, right? So this is it. I hope you liked the tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you can work with this. And if you are able to, for example, apply this to other indicators that, for example, draw errors in the chart. So this would be a great task. Hope you're having fun playing around with this, and I hope that you learned something. Yeah, and I will just say goodbye until we see each other next time on YouTube. So have a great time. Bye.